The movie begins by showing a young guy named Cal who often gets teased by his school friends. Cal is a high school student who lives with his mom and her beloved dog, Runt. One day on his way to school, Cal meets a pretty girl named Gabriella, who is in his class and also his crush. Sadly, Gabriella already has a boyfriend named Vic, who is the most popular student in school, just like Gabriella. Vic has two close pals, Hank and Big Ern. In addition to Vic and his buddies, Cal also faces teasing from Ronnie, a nosy student who uses drugs. However, there's a girl named Cecily who pays attention to Cal and secretly likes him. When Ronnie bullies Cal and makes him drop his condom, Cecily notices it and plans to give it back to him. During a class exam, Hank and Big Ern try to bother Cal and make him share a cheat sheet. However, the teacher notices the disturbance and calls Cal over. The teacher asks if Hank and Big Ern were trying to cheat with Calendar to avoid getting in trouble with the bullies. Cal lies and says they weren't cheating with him. In class, Cal would secretly watch Gabriella and sketch her in his book. He's always had feelings for her, but never had the courage to express them. Cal's close friend, Borgie, advises him to forget about Gabriella because she's dating Vic. Gabriella and Vic make a great couple as they're both popular students. Borgie believes Cal should find someone else because he deserves better than this. Meanwhile, Cecily gives back Cal's condom, which makes him feel awkward. Cecily wants to invite Cal to a school dance, but Borgie purposely interrupts her, preventing her from telling Cal because he rushes off when the school bell rings. After school, Cal approaches Gabriella and asks her to the dance, but she politely declines and leaves. As she goes, Cal secretly slips the sketch of Gabriella he drew into her bag. Vic and his pals take Cal's bike and bring him to the basketball court, thinking he informed the teacher about Hank and Big Ern cheating. Cal insists he didn't tell the teacher anything. Vic tells Cal to make the teacher understand it's all a misunderstanding and that Hank and Big Ern aren't cheating. When Cal refuses Vic's request, Vic gets angry and tells his friends to tease Calendar. They put Cal in a trash can and roll him up the stairs. This makes Cal late for work, and his boss warned him that this was the second time he was late, and he might get fired if it happens again. After work, despite feeling shaky, Cal still finds time to play catch with Runt. The next day, Cal is called to the principal's office because a security guard saw Vic and his friends bullying him. Vic also comes to the principal's office, and when asked, he admits to bullying Calendar. He says it's because Cal was stalking his girlfriend, Gabriella, and even shows everyone the sketch Cal had put in Gabriella's bag. Cal remains unmoved by Vic's explanation. After school, Cecily approached Cal and invited him to the dance, but he declined, saying he wasn't interested. As Cal was about to leave on his bike, he saw Cecily sitting alone, smoking a marijuana cigarette. Cal went over to her, and she offered him the cigarette, and they started chatting. Surprisingly, they quickly became close, and Cal didn't hesitate to give Cecily a ride on his bicycle. The next day, during a group study, Gabriella apologized to Cal for what happened and admitted that she was pressured by Vic. As a gesture of apology, she invited Cal to a party at Vic's house. Borgie, who knew about this, seemed excited, but Cecily looked jealous. After school, Cal and Borgie practiced shooting hoops, and Borgie encouraged Cal, saying that Gabriella's invitation might mean she actually likes him, and advised him to seize the opportunity to get closer to her. In short, Cal goes to Vic's party on Borgie's advice, even though he wasn't initially interested. However, when he arrives, Gabriella ignores him completely, making it seem like Borgie's idea that she liked him was just wishful thinking. Fortunately, Cecily is also at the party, so Cal has someone to talk to, while Borgie gets drunk and behaves embarrassingly. While Cal and Cecily are chatting, Vic and his friends come over and start bullying Calendar. Vic even flirts with Cecily, despite having a girlfriend. Cal tries to protect Cecily, but he ends up locked in a car's trunk, and Vic and his friends hassle Cecily as retaliation for Cal trying to get close to Gabriella. Hearing the commotion, Gabriella steps in and helps Cecily by pushing Vic to the ground. Cal, who managed to escape from the car's trunk, tried to comfort Cecily, who was deeply upset by the mistreatment from Vic and his friends. However, Cecily asked everyone to stay away from her and left quickly. Vic tried to explain to his girlfriend that he wasn't mistreating Cecily, but Gabriella didn't believe him because she witnessed Vic's actions herself. Because of this incident, Cal was angry with Borgie for pushing him to attend Vic's party, especially since Borgie got drunk and embarrassed both of them. Annoyed, Borgie responded by calling Cal a coward who couldn't stand up to Vic and his friends. After school, Cal discovered that someone had cut his bike chain, making him late for work and eventually getting fired. After all the bad things that happened that day, which he believed Vic was responsible for, Cal planned to get back at Vic by setting his car on fire. The following day, Cal decides to skip school and goes to Cecily's house to say sorry. He meets Cecily's dad, who tells him that his daughter doesn't want to see anyone. Since Cal doesn't go to school, Vic and his friends come to Cal's house but can't find him because he's hiding somewhere with Runt. That evening, Cecily sends Cal a message asking him to visit her at home. Cal then apologizes to Cecily for what happened at the party, but she assures him it wasn't his fault. Cal then suggests that Cecily should report the terrible incident to the police. However, Cecily doesn't want to make things worse because it would have a huge impact if her father found out about the abuse. Cecily later reveals that her father is involved in drugs. If her father learned that Vic had mistreated her, she believes he would harm Vic and end up in prison. Cecily doesn't want her father to go back to jail, so she chooses not to report the incident to the police. The next day, after being away from school for a week, Cal returns. Borgie approaches him and apologizes for breaking Cal's bike chain. However, Cal is still upset because Borgie's actions led to him losing his job. When Cal finally comes back to school after his absence, Vic and his friends immediately target him and start a fight in front of other students. This time, Cal, tired of being bullied by Vic and his friends, decides to stand up and fight back, even though it's tough. Cal manages to face his bullies and earns respect from his other friends, including Borgie. Even Ronnie, who used to underestimate and bully Cal, is impressed by his courage and invites him to join his group, which Cal happily accepts. Later, Ronnie shares with Cal a heartbreaking story about how his father used to mix heroin with bleach, leading to a severe health crisis when a blood vessel in his brain burst. Fortunately, Ronnie's father survived, but he suffered some damage to his brain nerves. In the evening, Cal spends a close and affectionate night with Cecily, deepening their relationship. The next morning, Cal realizes that his dog has disappeared. As he searches for Runt, he comes across a bloodied baseball bat on the ground. Cal goes to a nearby trash can and is shocked to find Runt's lifeless body in a terrible state. Devastated by the loss of his loyal companion, Cal confronts Vic at school, accusing him of killing Runt. Vic denies it, and his friends promptly attack Calendar. That night, Vic and his friends were set to have a match at the school gym. However, when Cal showed up, the students cheered for him. Vic got annoyed and tried to embarrass Cal by calling him a loser in front of everyone. Cal decided to leave and planned to get back at Vic in another way. To make a long story short, just before the match, Hank and Big Ern tried inhaling heroin to boost their stamina. However, after inhaling it, they had seizures and passed out, needing to be rushed to the hospital for treatment. It turns out that Cal had mixed the heroin with bleach powder, similar to what Ronnie's father did to teach him a lesson. This was Cal's way of seeking revenge against Vic and his friends. Cal then lured Vic to a secluded place and asked him to confess to killing Runt and turn himself in to the police. Vic refused and attacked Cal, leading to a fierce fight between them. Meanwhile, Borgie and Cecily, who were looking for Cal, heard the sounds of the fight nearby. In a fight, Borgie shows up with a gun, which Cal uses to threaten Vic. Feeling scared with a gun pointed at him, Vic apologizes and promises to turn himself in to the police. But Cal, still furious, doesn't want to forgive Vic and plans to take revenge for Runt's death by killing him. Then, Cecily arrives and tries to persuade Cal not to kill Vic because it won't bring Runt back to life. Cecily convinces Cal to punish Vic in other ways for what he did. Cecily asks for the gun from Cal and replaces it with a baseball bat. She suggests that Cal break Vic's arm as retaliation for Vic's mistreatment of her and killing Runt. According to Cecily, this would make Vic think twice about bullying anyone in the future. Cal agrees and uses the baseball bat to break Vic's arm with all his strength. Afterward, Cal and Cecily promise to face the consequences of their actions together. The movie ends with Cal and Cecily attending the school dance, while the sound of police sirens can be heard in the distance. So the moral of the story is never mess with a guy's dog, or you might end up with a broken arm at the school dance.